Welcome to Foundry. My name is Nilaus. We're back to Foundry here for update 2, Galactic Commerce. This is the first major content release for the game, and it released on the 6th of May. So you can see I've already made some progress. Thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring this showcase video. Foundry is free to play on Steam from the 15th to 18th of May. So if you don't already own it, now is a really good chance to give it a shot. Check the link in the description below for access. In this video, I'll guide you through the start to mid-game of the game and show you how the game works and some of the new updates. If you want to see this continue into a proper Let's Play series, then you know the drill, like, share and subscribe, and then I'll continue it. I love this game and I really have a lot of fun with it, so I'd love this to turn into a series here on the channel. As we're roaming through this mid-game factory, let's talk a bit about Foundry. As is evident from the game, it is a first-person 3D voxel-based factory game. It also has the immersiveness of Satisfactory with the first person in a 3D world, and the factory building aspects from Factorio with belts, inserters, assemblers. It, however, also has its own cool thing, and this update is really expanding on this with commerce and planets and big spaceships going up and down from orbit and trading with other entities around the galaxy. But let's start from the beginning. So if you are intrigued to want to see more, then don't forget to like, share and subscribe. Check the link in the description below for free access over the weekend. And of course, or you can also consider supporting this channel on Patreon. If you do, you get access to the save game. So you can actually start from this state and see all the cool things unlocked immediately. Let's dive in. Like so many other games, it starts by us landing on a planet. We are controlling a giant robot. Well, not a giant robot, not a DSP giant robot, but a robot. And we are going to be just landing here. And then we need to shut down Carl. And basically what we need to do is we need to find some resources around here. That's the first thing. We have resources. We have technum, copper, and we have xenoferrite iron. And basically what we need to do is we need to start by hand mining, build some stuff, build some basic smelters, you know the drill. Let's skip ahead on that. So this is basically a small base. We built everything on platform. The beautiful thing about the platforms in Foundry is that they conduct electricity. Take note, Satisfactory. So anything that's on a platform is powered automatically. And we're just using these burner miners or biomass burners for basic power right now. That's fine. We're mining the xenoferrite, we're mining the technum. They're going in here for some smelting columns, and that gets us out here, gets us some iron and copper, rods, whatever. They seem very familiar. The first thing we want to do is we have up here in the sky, we can't even see it, but behind the clouds, if they would just be so kind as to get out of the way, there is a broken space station. And that is going to be a very big part of the new stuff in this update. What are we going to do about the space station? Because we can interact a lot more with it than we could in the first version of the game. So we need to make a space station terminal in order to interact with the space station. And of course, we're going to call it, Enterprise of the Path. There we go, that one, and start the progress. So now we have this derelict space station. It's not doing so well. Oh, that's funny. What's that? It's a planet, but that's Foundry. That's our planet, but what the hell are you doing? I don't know. So maybe Foundry is just a moon. Never mind, that's not what we're doing here. So basically we have a lot of options here. We also have sort of, this is our rank and our lifetime earnings, not great. We also start with a lot of debt, that's not cool. And we pay off taxes or pay out the debt, which is really expensive and something you really want to get rid of, but that's longer term. We can upgrade, we have power, we have a number of construction bots, we have cargo bay capacity, for sort of how much we can store here. And we have a hangar bay for how many ships we have. We have our money. This is Thermalite. They are both Thermalite bars that we can use in-game, but they are also just a currency in space. We start with 10,000 that, and we have construction materials to make stuff on the space platform. So we can see on the space platform, we start with 1,500. That's stuff that's stored. And we can go into space upgrades, and the ones that are green are the ones we can. You can see there are a lot of cool upgrades we can get here. This is a really big part of the upgrade, and it's so amazing all the cool things we get. So we'll just start on the first one. Let's do emergency repairs on the hull, and that will take a little bit of... Oh, shut up, Carl. And even more shut up.
Right.
There we go. So that's going to be the first thing we want to do, and that will get us just a little bit of upgrade on this one. After a while, we have completed the first upgrade, this here, the hull upgrade, and now we can also do some other things like getting more power, getting stuff like this. We're going to be getting a ship hangar, basic hangar repair, because that gives us some spaceships that can transport things between the planet and the space station. Super amazing thing. And while we do that, we are going to be doing what should come as no surprise for anyone who's watched this channel before. We're going to make a bus. So I'm going to make like the first branch of the bus so you can see how it's done and you can do it yourself. And then that will also just be serve as sort of a placeholder for, okay, and now I can just make a lot of other bus stuff because it's going to be the same. So I am going to align it here. There we go. What we're going to do is we start by having the xenoferrite plates and the technum rods here, and we want to just add the next thing. And the next thing will be just some components. This is machinery parts, basically the gears of Foundry. And okay, I already just messed it up by getting 2 things in here. I only want 1 thing in here. Yep. That one, and I can just Control Q, and then it retains the recipe. Remove that. Control Q to recipe. That's 2, 3, 4, 5. I built everything generally with 5, and then I get the outbound, get it back, as you can see, and I am going to have a box right there, and that will be going into this box, and then we're going to be grabbing, nope, that's the wrong way, that has to go, yeah. These are inbound, so inbounds to come over on this side, inbound, 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 inbound. Yes. And the way we do the branch off the bus, it's really neat. So I have lifted the bus 1 tile up, just makes it a lot easier. Then I'm going to do a ramp down, remove 2 tiles, and then we can just set a splitter in. That means it splits, goes down, and go in here. Very, very simple and very efficient. Then we're going to take the outputs. They're going to be here. And there. There and there. Then we are going to go, and this is a little bit of a unique thing now. It's here, that one. These are going to go out. They'll go over here and start a new line. Press Y to drag the belts backwards. And lo and behold, we now have a new bus line that's ready to be used, and I'm sending it in both directions because I'm going to expand the bus in both directions. It also means that we can actually get stuff out of this a lot faster, and that's how it works.
That's a lot of new technology.
Shut up, Carl. I don't know how many times during this video I will be saying shut up, Carl, but I have a feeling that it's going to be a lot. Right, so what this means that we now have the first thing we want to do. And we will now need to research the hangar pay and get started on making a shipping pad and that kind of thing, so we can try to interact with communications with the platform in orbit. Now we're starting to work on something new that is a transport bot. The transport bot doesn't do anything, and you have a whole category of items here. All of these things don't serve a purpose for, you can't use them for anything, but they are used to sell to other factions and also on the sales platform. So what we want to do is we want to just make those just to make money off of it, and then what we want to do is we want to get it into a platform, and this is here. We have already pre-built it because of course we have. Then I'm going to build it like this. So we build a platform. The platform then has to be configured, and it says none of your ships are assigned to planetary shipping. Go to your station. Yeah, but that's because I don't have any ships. Like, that's kind of unfair to yell at me for that. But buy a small cargo ship. Yes. So what we're going to do is we're going to be making that small cargo ship once we have. We want one of these another terminals because we want to make a terminal over here. That makes more sense, and we got it here. Let's make a terminal right here so we can do those things next to each other. Here. So, spaceships. Do we have any spaceships? No, but we have a hangar that we upgraded, so we can now have some spaceships. So we buy a small spaceship here. It takes 1 cargo hold. It has a capacity of 1,000 kilo and fuel consumption, and minimum shipping pad size is small. Cost 3,000 Fermalite. We'll get it. Then we can assign it to some different things. Currently, we can only assign it to planetary shipping. That means shipping things between the space platform and our location. Now, the warning has disappeared, and we can configure this. So now we can choose either to transport wares from the space station to the factory. This is not enabled yet because there's no items there. Or we can transport it. So we take transport, then we get a list of all the items that we currently have researched that we can set up, and we choose the transport bot. Then we can choose what kind of ships to be using. It's using that one. And then the minimum amount, and the minimum amount should be as the same as the capacity for the ship. They weigh 40 kilos each, and lo and behold, we have now configured... Oh, shut up, Carl.
Once built.
So now we should be able to see, once this goes to 25, and then we should see a spaceship coming down. Perfect. And that spaceship will just pick up the materials and bring them up to space. Then what we need, the next thing we need to do is make a sales platform so we can actually take the stuff that is now sent to the platform and actually sell it. But if we look at our issue is that the sales platform is costing 10 megawatt that we don't have. This is why I'm upgrading the solar panels first. So it's going to take a little time for us to get the basic hangar repair, get the solar panels, and then the station upgrades. The sales platform is about to complete, and here we go. We got the sales platform. So now we got 2 new things that are enabled. Here we have the transport bot. We have actually 150 transport, 175 transport bots already here. So we can use the sales platform to sell it to anyone who sort of passes by our station. It's pretty simple, but it also says that we get a lower average market price than we would expect. So we can enable it. We can then say, okay, so hourly demand is 1600. Oh, shut up, Carl. And there we go. So you can see here, this is the demand for it. So if you want to sell like a lot, we can do this. Or if we can say, actually, we don't want to sell as much, but we only want to sell it when the price is 21 Thermalite for each transport bot. So you can say, okay, do I want to sell like a lot of this at a very bad rate? Or do I want to sell like a little bit of it, but at a higher rate? So this is basically the hourly demand. I actually prefer this because I don't really want them to be... I don't want my base to just spend all of its resources on making bots to sell. So I'd rather make a little bit less and then sell them at a higher price. Then we also get the finance, and ooh, this is where things get exciting, right? We actually have like commerce for different locations, all the different types. We can see the stats for how many we've sold. We've sold 32 already. Oh, that's nice. And then accounting history. Oh, this gets exciting, right? This is just, it gets your blood boiling. This gets a little bit more advanced, but it's basically sort of how you make the profit. Basically, what are you going to be... The sales rule, we get that later. The sales platform, this is what we have now. We have a debt tax, so we have to pay 20% of everything we earn to pay off our debts. Ouch. We can extend storage fees if we have too much money, and we need to store it in the bank. And we have a spaceship refueling is also costing something when the spaceships go up and down all the time. Then we get market earnings, market spend. We can look at sales charts, we can look at our competitors, but that's a little bit later on, because that's only when we get the Galactic market and the Galaxy map updated. But now we're starting to actually make money ourselves, and that's going to be awesome. So that's a good start, and we are also seeing that we increase our level. This doesn't do anything. This is, yeah, it doesn't do anything. It's just the title. But that's great. So what's going to happen now is that we're going to be focusing. This will just chug along, makes a little bit of money for us, and we can now see the profit of the day up here. But what we're going to do is we're going to be focusing on expanding our hub. We're going to be getting the new science pack. If you look at here, science pack 2 opens up a lot of cool things. Most importantly for update 2 is the station antenna, so we can communicate with other plots, but we need a lot of other things first. Firstly, we need explosives, because, I mean, of course we need explosives, because then we can sort of carve our way out. And then we need to make some steel, and we also need to make some... where are you? You're somewhere. There's also some glass production, I guess, we also need to do. So we have a lot of things that we need to do before we sort of go on with more expansion up in the for the space platform. Here we have the absolute most favorite thing. We have explosives being made. First we make the explosives, and then we turn them into detonation thing units, explosives. This means we need some ignium. Ignium is something we have over here. So that's basically coal in this context. So we have the coal, and that's now coming in and making explosives for us. The reason why we want to do this is because we want to make steel. Steel requires 2 things. It requires a lot of xenoferrite and a lot of ignium. And I don't want to use the existing one because it would run out, and I don't want to use the existing one because it's already dedicated to something. So I actually want to take these 2 things, and that means we're going to be going out into the world and just exploding our way to happiness. And basically, I'm going to be starting a path out here, and then what we need to do is just throw explosives into the wild, blow things up, and expand out here. And then we just go gradually out here and down there, and then make a platform here for steel. Simple, right? Far below the ground, we have an ignium deposit that has been hooked up, and I am going to take it now into the box, and I am going to take it into the box. As it goes into the box, it goes up, up, up and away. And we do not have the elevators yet. The elevators are super cool tech, but we don't have it because it requires steel, and this is all about making the steel. So what we do instead is we run up here. We run all the way in, and then someone has been so kind as to build a little platform. If you look at our map, this is what I pointed out before. We're bringing it up here, and then we have a location that is ready to make steel. And I also then just need to hook these up. That one. And that one, that gets the xenoferrite. Xenoferrite is coming from this location, just nice chunks here. And then as we see the ignium coming over from that side, we should be seeing it come in. The way that it works is that we first mix it. What is this? This is, I don't want to change it. This one, xenoferrite ignium ore blend. That's exactly what I want. And we make that in a crusher. So there we're getting that inbound, and we're also getting the ignium inbound. Once we have that crushy, then it goes in here and becomes smelted, and then hopefully we should get some steel outbound. Let's have a look. And we get the first things coming in here. Yes, please. And we get the first ore blend coming out, and that goes down the line and gets taken in, and that gets us to the very first steel. We're gonna go in here and then ripping the steel. And eventually we should be seeing the steel coming out on this side as well. We can see that they're starting to huff and puff. Hey, the first steel bars. Awesome. More factories to build. We've also found a location out here that has mineral rock. This mineral rock is just being mined, and then we are going to be setting it up. Output and output. We get the mineral rock. It goes up here. And it goes in. And what's it going to do? First, we take the mineral rock and we crush it in a crusher to make it into gravel. It actually is weird that it's gravel. It shouldn't it be sand, I guess, because what we do is we take the gravel and we put it into a smelter, and lo and behold, we will eventually get some glass coming out. If we can just see some, you can see that start huffing and puffing here, and we should see some gravel coming down the line. Yes, please. Going in here, and they start smelting the gravel into glass. Takes 5 seconds, apparently. There we go. And that means out here, we get now glass coming back. Excellent. I think there's just a little bit more we need. We also need concrete, don't we? Now, the concrete is quite a different build because we now need to use casting machines. The casting machines need water because, well, you can't make concrete without water. So you need cement mix, you need gravel, and you need water. That's actually perfect. This is the 3 core components of concrete. So well done, actually using a proper recipe for concrete. And then all we need to do is just take this, get it back, and get it over here. And let's get it up, over, and back down again, here, and there. And we get the concrete blocks going back on the bus. So now we've got steel, glass, concrete, lots of cool things. We also have a lot of factories, so we probably need to get some better power going. Starting off with yet another underground mine of ignium, getting it up here. And the ignium is coming in and going in and getting split. Hello, little one. Pet. And that goes into a boiler, which takes, love that, you can bring it up here. So water in and steam out and ignium being used. And that goes in. And then it goes into a turbine that's generating power. We now have a lot of power. And we are also taking some of this power back onto this grid to feed the miners or to power the miners and loaders. But the rest is going over to the other location, and you can see I've made the mistakes of only transforming it with one transformer back to the main grid, and therefore it's not actually getting enough power in there as it needs to the main grid back at the base. So we'll of course need to fix that with more transformers, so we transform more of the steam turbine power back onto the network. Something that was changed lately since the first update was how to do thermalite bar smelting or thermalite sheets. So if we look at our tech tree, we have down here, we have something called thermalite sheets. So we get the thermalite bars. Those are basically our currency, and then we bring them back to bring them down to the planet, and then we need to smelt them into thermalite sheets, and then we can use them for recipes. In order to do that, we need a lava smelter. A lava smelter can only be placed in lava areas, and in order to get to lava areas, because that's basically all the way down to the bedrock, which we can't mine to because of mining force considerations, whatever. You can only mine it a certain depth with by default, and plus you don't really want to mine this down because we're like at level 130. So what we need to do is find one of these lava cave shafts. Those are locations where the rock is soft and you can actually drill through it with an elevator. So we built an elevator up here, and we renamed this one to, this is level 135 base level, and then we're going to be adding another station, and this one is called Lavalicious, because of course it is, and it's going to be in height 6. I confirm. Now we hear the sound you can see here. Oh, that's funny, that doesn't work the normal way. There we go. So you can see it's down to 129, 128, 127. It's going to take a while for it to get all the way down to the ground level. And it just completed, so now we take the long ride all the way down, and well, it's gonna take a while to get there. And we have now arrived at this glorious location, and we are facing just exactly what you would expect. There we go. So we need to just explode our way out, because that's kind of what we would expect to do. When you go out in an elevator, just start throwing explosives everywhere, and boom! No, we still don't see the lava cave yet, but oh, that's not a great place. Here, and also on this side, we want to just expand out because we want to get out to a lava cave. There we go! Now we get to see the lava cave. Look at that beautiful thing. So down here, there are lots of weird things, including weird critters. They don't do anything. I think they're just kind of for, well, shits and giggles. We're going to be blowing away all of this porous rock, and we're just going to be finding some. You can't blow out the bedrock. You can see this is the bedrock, so that's where it is. What we need to do is we need to find locations with lava, and then take our lava smelter that we have and find a place where it can be built. I think I want it like this, and then if I did my homework correctly, then here, this should be the same level. It is. Can I go up? There. Good. So that's now level 6 is the level that this is going to be at. So now we can just bring stuff in and out. And over on the other side, over on this side, we can now also make the bottom part of the freight elevator. That's the bottom part. And as we do that, then that will also start digging its way in here. And then once that's established, we actually have a way to get this going. So what we need to do down here is just the last bit, and that is a transformer. So we actually get power from the high voltage grid to the low voltage grid. And as we have that, we are starting to see that things are being moved in. I love this elevator stuff. It's so cool. So it's brought in, and it goes into this glorious location, and it will start making thermalite. It's not going to make thermalite very fast. It's going to make it at 10 per minute. And, well, we get a little bit of thermalite. Yay! So now we got a lot of different productions. So now it's time to focus on our space platform again. Here in the space platform, we have now unlocked the antenna. It is repaired, and that means it gives us access to the galactic market and to the galaxy map. The galactic market is where we can set up trade routes for either recurring trade routes or one-off trade routes. So we can set it up and say, basically saying, hey, I want more construction materials. I can set up how many do I want. This is 10, so if I made 100, that would fit with a small ship, for example. And then we can confirm a trade. This is a one-time trade. It costs us 1,000 thermalite. Or I can set it up here on a recurring trade that basically says, okay, I'm going to do this. Minimum amount to buy is 100 because that's a shipload. And don't buy so we go less than 10,000 thermalite, and buy a below threshold. That means anytime we drop below 2,000 for example, then we keep buying this, and then we create a recurring order. This one is active or paused. active. The way that it works is for these recurring orders is that we have a cargo ship. If the cargo ship is not assigned to anything else, then I can click this one. That means it's now green and it will start working on the recurring market route. So it'll now go recurring over here on the Galactic market, go out, buy some construction materials and bring them back. We can also sell stuff. We can do all that sort of cool things, but that requires a few more upgrades. Now here is the Galactic map. This is pretty damn impressive, and it's actually one of the bigger things that this patch has enabled us. What we have is our little location. We have our space station that we are expanding, and we have our Galactic market, and this is our sector. So what we need to do is we need to sort of go out into other sectors. This is another sector. We would need to buy a license or space, reach the maximum number of sectors you can unlock, upgrade the space station to unlock more sectors. So we need to do unlocking. Once we have that, we need to look at these different planets inside the sector, because our objective is to satisfy the sector and thereby get market dominance. But we're going to take this one first. It uses heavy duty transport drones, and we want transport drones, it's fine. The other one needs heavy duty transport drones and transport drone. We don't have transport drones, but we have transport bots. So let's start by looking at this. So what we need to do in order to get additional, let's say the antenna, extend antenna. Extending antenna allows us to monitor more galaxy sectors. Additional galaxy sector to unlock 1, and additional trade license 2. Let's do that. So now we've unlocked it, and we can go here. We can go to the sector, and I can unlock this sector. So that means it's now open. You can see all the other ones change a little bit of color. Those are the ones that are next to us. That means we can actually start seeing a little bit further away. So now we can see what they have, and this is the market dominance point. This is basically the victory points of the game, you could say, and this is how much value we can get out of this location. So what we need to do now is we need to look at this planet and say we can acquire a trade license that costs a little bit of money. There we go. Then I can open a supply route, because we want to do a supply route that services heavy duty transport bots and bots as well. We want to do a ship management. We want to add a ship. I don't have any ships available. That's not good. Let's go see if we can... I can't get any more ships, so we really want another hangar. This one is doing a recurring order, and I'm going to take one of these out. So we only have 2 ships servicing the planet. That's not enough, but for the sake of our trial run here, then I kind of want it. So here we can't buy it because there's not enough hangar space available. There we go. It is now available. And we go over here again, there, open supply route configuration, go to ship management, we add this ship. Now that we have a ship, then we can go in and say, how much do we want to support? We want to send all of this. And you can see they still have a lot of available capacity. Once we do that, we start a trade route. There, trade route is established. And we will get 47 for each of the heavy duty bot and 20 for each of the transport bots. And it will start working on it. What happens now is that you can see the market share. It was currently the Orion Trade Authority that was having a monopoly here, but now we started to carve in on their encroachment here. It doesn't work exactly like you would expect it. I would expect it to sort of load up a ship, fly there, unload it, get the money. That's not how it works. It works sort of on a continuous basis. So think of it more like it's establishing a belt going back and forth that sort of has a throughput of, in this case, 2 per hour, and then in this case 4 per hour. And then as the hours pass, we sell 2 more of these and 4 more of these. So things come in continuously, and as it comes in, this trade authority, this basically means that if we continue to do this, if we continue to be able to produce enough heavy duty transport drones and transport drones, then we will eventually edge them out of the market and win complete market dominance on this location. Let's see if this updates. It should update every hour. But on the other hand, or while we do that, let's go back to our base, because you could see that I was using heavy duty bots, and that's actually something that we have built. In the meantime, I have added a lot of the different bots. We can see the bots that we have available here. There are 5 different types of bots, and because we have all these cool things, glass, for example, and thermalite sheets that we just built. Not concrete though, it's not really needed for this, but whatever. So now we work here, and we're sort of saying, hey, we make vacuum bots, send them up there. Heavy duty bots, send them up there. And what are these? Light bots? Yeah, light bots and snack bots. Those are all being sent up and produced. And this is basically going to be the main part of our base is now going to be allocated to build robots to sell. And you can also see that the money up in the top right hand corner, it's actually increasing quite a lot. We will need some more upgrades here, but if we go back to this one, we can maybe see that it's changing. Yes, we are starting to edge our way into their market dominance. We've sold a little bit more and we are making money from it. When we get market dominance on a planet, then we also get a higher price. You can see plus 5% for being the planet market leader and plus 10% for being the sector planet leader. And if we then go back to space station and then go into this wonderful overview of financing, then we can see that our sales taxes here, debt is still taking a lot. External storage is really a lot. That's not good. That's because we have too much money. What we can use this money for is make a payment of our loans. You can see we currently pay 20,000. So by just using this, we lower the debt rate a little bit. It's not much, but it's better than to paying someone else to hold our money and also pay debts and debt. So this is kind of the way that you can manage your finances. That should then stop paying us external fees, and this debt tax would also be decreasing a little bit, because this is a lot of drag on our build. We are then seeing, first of all, supply route. This is the one we just established. We're starting to make money off of this, and we were not making anything before that. On the sales taxes, we can also look at the sales platform. I've set everything up to only sell when they're really high value. So you can get some really good things. We're now in the progress of researching the research and development lab, which is a pretty cool thing. Get it as early as you can, but it's really expensive. But once you have it, then it unlocks some XP gain, which is really good. Progress is going really well on our planet here. We have now achieved market dominance, and we earned the plus 5% on pricing. That's very nice. And that's one of the planets. On the other planet, we cannot get it. The reason why we just set it up, but the reason is that we can get the heavy duty transport bots, but we cannot get any of the transport drones in there. So that's that means that this sector was not something we can do. We could probably go down to this sector instead. Maintenance drones unlocked. We don't know what it wants yet. Oh, here. Yes. Light bot, we got it. Vacuum bot, we got it. Screen bot, we got it. And transport bot, we got it. So we can get all these things. So maybe this is the better candidate for us to work on. What is also completed is the R&D lab. So R&D lab is a little bit weird. It basically means that for every of the different types of bots you create, you get a little bit of XP. Probably just like 1 XP. Experience per product made, 1 XP. So that means like it just increases. And then when you get more, so you can say, for example, transport bots, we then can use these 3 levels of experience to make it better. We can increase the sales bonus by 5, or sales price for 5%. We can increase the productivity yield, so we get 2% free products, or we can decrease the product weight so that it weighs less, and we can therefore transport more, and therefore we can more easily get things between planet and spaceship side, and also use less fuel for that. I think we're just gonna get some. There we go, 15% extra money on this, and we can kind of decide what we want to do for each of these individually. Maybe some we want something else. I like getting some extra money, so this just basically gets us 10% extra on everything. I will also want to do the product weight, because that means it's less rockets back and forth. We are also getting a lot of money here, and we are paying an awful lot of carrying cost for this. But that's good, because that means we are making money. But making money is not the only thing we do in the space. Let's see, I need to run the correct way. We have this space it's working, it's good. And we have over here, this is our thermalite production. It's looking good. And over further down here, we can now see there's a new thing. This is a polymer. And at this point, we're focusing mainly on the Galactic office, but it's just worth mentioning that we also have some oil production here. This is so lots of big machines, lots of oil production, and oil is going in. It's going in here. It's getting processed, different kinds of oil. But the most important thing is that it actually goes in here to get some jetpack fuel. And that means we can now fly. Yay, we can fly. And we're making fuel here that we can use for power production. And yeah, so this gives us circuit boards or polymer boards, which we need for circuits, and it's just kind of continuing teching up. And basically what we want now is we want to take the second sector, and let's get into that. We're working on the second sector now, and you can see there's a little progress bar. This is very interesting. So what we've done is we've set up the supply route for all of these. Our market share has now reached over 50%, and as soon as it goes over 50%, then it says market leadership 2.3. That is, I don't know why what this 2.3 means, is shifting. At 100%, you will become the market leader. Speed of, this is this progress bar. So this is 2.3%, this progress bar. It basically means that when you go above 50%, then you are the market leader, then this progress bar starts working. And it speed of change depends on the relative strength difference between you and the top competitor, currently changing at 56.56 per hour. So I'm a little bit ahead of here, and therefore I'm pushing forward. So what this one will gradually increase, and then it goes up. This is also kind of, if we sort of lack of production, for example, because I'm restructuring, then we might actually start losing some of our products here, and then we might actually lose. So this is kind of a progress bar to say, hey, you're about to win this zone or you're about to lose this zone. So it doesn't sort of flicker back and forth, but it actually has a progress bar you need to work on. Let's see. This is still not really updating. I'd like it to update a little bit more so we can see that it is slowly progressing. But of course, it also means that I have to be able to satisfy it with light bots, vacuum bots, screen bots, and transport bots, which is something we now make in our base and sending up here. So you can keep expanding out and you can keep satisfying it, but you have to make sure that you can actually satisfy the needs of it. So you might overstretch. It's a pretty cool way instead of the, you could say, like usual way of just like research mining productivity 69. Nice. But what doesn't really get us anything. This way is kind of, there's some strategic parts, there's some coolness about seeing territory flip over to our domain. It's pretty cool. You can see the market leadership is now changing, and it's changing faster now. Let's get us all the way to the end and see this one actually flip. Here it is. This is our zone, and we should see it flip any moment. Come on. This is now at, oh, there we go. It flipped. Perfect. Market share is now 100%. This is our domain, and it flipped over and became part of our yellow blob of awesomeness. What happens now is that we can see that our pricing, market leader, goes up. So the normal price is 49, but we are actually getting a 56 because we have market dominance and can earn that. What this also gives us is the most inconsequential thing. If we look at our finance on our competitors, then it also gives us some market dominance point, and we're now up to 16 market dominance points. We're all, yeah, okay. We're not quite there. These are our competitors. They are, of course, just AI generated, or just not AI. Whew, luckily not. But it's they're just game factions. And it kind of, this is kind of, I see it as a little bit of a scoreboard, nothing more than that. And you can just kind of see where you are. I love the fact that how this interacts with even something like accounting history. Ooh, that gets super exciting. For me, it's exciting. You can sort of say, okay, how do we optimize like refueling, external costs, debt tax? How can we optimize it? How can we make more money? How can we take our cost base down? It's pretty advanced, and it's a super fun thing to mess with, while at the same time keep upgrading our space station to get new things. For example, the market office. What we get in the market office is, for example, I unlock the energy cells. They are really expensive to unlock these, 70,000 just to unlock one thing. But the cool thing is that now I can actually go on the Galactic market. I can make a new recurring order, for example, and I can actually make energy cells. I can get minimum, there we go, 250. That is a ship worth of that. And then we can just say, don't ruin us like this. How much is it going to cost? It is costing 75 each, so I don't know, something. And then we can make a recurring order that any new spaceship can then pick up and start working on. So we can build energy cells, because energy cells are particularly annoying to make. So maybe we just want to buy the energy cells and then drop into the planet instead of making them ourselves. So it's a pretty cool idea that you can sort of take some things that are annoying to make and you don't really want to make it, and then go like, oh, you know what, I'm just going to buy the license for circuit boards, and then just buy circuit boards with our money we make from the sales platform here, and also the money we make from our Galactic parts here. That's pretty good. Or we could also, with the Galactic market, we could also set up new here, this is a buy command. Can we also set a sell? Yes, we can do a sell. So for example, if we have something that we have a market license for, then something we feel that is easy to make for us, and we can just keep selling it, then that's also an option. So I think this is a pretty cool dimension here, and it's certainly something that is really fun to explore, and definitely something that I'm gonna explore more. So we come to the end of this episode, this showcase, and now that we have this, and you can see that at the start of the game the base was a little more elaborate, and that's because I think this is a good place to showcase, to end the showcase for all the cool things. There's a lot of things that I still want to build, like some of those giant buildings, and yeah, there's a lot of things that still need to be done, and I'd love to explore that in a Let's Play if there's an interest for it. So let me know in the comment section, and like and share and all that stuff. If there's a good performance on this video, then it definitely means that there's an interest for a continued series, Let's Play series here on YouTube. So thank you very much for watching. Thank you to Paradox Interactive for sponsoring the showcase. Remember, you can play this game even if you don't own it, because there's a free weekend coming up on the 15th to 18th of May. So check out the link in the description below, and that will take you over to Steam, and then you can download it for free and play it for the weekend. Yeah, so thank you, and I will see you guys. Oh, and last thing is, of course, if you are a patron supporter of the channel, thank you very much for that. But you can also download the save game, with either this save game where we end here, or the save game that I showcased in the beginning from my Twitch series, and then you can sort of start from there if you feel like it. Thank you very much for watching. I will see you guys in the next episode, hopefully. Until next time, take care and stay effective.